There's no such thing as a bad season of Super Sentai. Or maybe there is. Now, let me elaborate on this. You see, anyone can like any season. It usually completely depends on that person's preference and taste. You see, I've seen a lot of people who like seasons that are often hated in the community. Even I do. And the fact of the matter is, we know it depends on your preferences, but is it even possible to determine what the worst is based off of facts and data? The real answer is no, because even when you look at toy sales aren't enough to negate a season being bad, because there's some seasons with low toy sales that are highly regarded, like Time Ranger, Kira Major, and Geki Ranger. Now, this question led me to Twitter, where I decided to ask the people of the Sentai fandom what exactly their least favorite season of Super Sentai was, just to get a better idea. And their responses were relatively interesting, to say the least. Now, I want to take time to say thank you to everyone who took their time to respond to this tweet, giving me their opinion. Every opinion here is valid. None of these opinions will be bashed, so please be mindful of that. Now, let's go over the responses. First response I got was from a friend of mine on Twitter. His name is Psycho. Oh, Ranger. Yes, there are a lot of behind the scenes issues, but even before they changed the show wasn't that good. The show was just bad, boring, stupid, and forgettable, and just copies of the past with none of that adding emotion. It affected me so much that I've gone on a Sentai hiatus for the past year. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. This one was pretty loaded. I mean, O Ranger was that bad. He just left Sentai for a year. I mean, that's interesting, to say the least. Now, I will say this though. I know Oranger isn't really highly regarded in the community, but it isn't as bad as people say it is. Have you guys ever heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? And remember how I told you guys how these discussions are completely opinion based? And in this case, Lincoln Jones disagrees with Psycho, saying, I highly disagree with your take. I'd actually consider Oranger an underrated season, just with a crap ton of bad filler episodes, and was released under unfortunate circumstances. You see, this kind of response further implies or adds on to my idea of there's no such thing as a bad season of Super Sentai. Here you have one individual with one set an opinion, and an individual who has an opinion that goes against the said person. And in this case, it's Psycho with a set opinion and Lincoln with a set opinion that goes against Psycho's opinion. And judging by Psycho's opinion, there were a lot of people that simply disagreed with Psycho, and that kind of started a little back and forth. I don't know, man. The blank writing is kind of crazy. I love many Sentai, but I guess I would say Battle Fever, for their suits are not that pleasant. Their story, I can't say. I haven't seen most of them. This is an interesting take because of the fact not many people are actively talking about 80s slash late 70s era Super Sentai anymore. And that's because, let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, not many people are watching 80s slash 70 era Sentai. I feel like everything prior to Jetman is kind of not necessarily forgotten, but not talked about by the fandom anymore. Arcana said his least favorite season of Super Sentai was Q Ranger. Izzo said Zyuohger was his least favorite season of Super Sentai. Decade Nerd said Ninja was the worst season of Super Sentai in his opinion. Blackwing said Goanger was difficult to watch. Ninja is by far despised with a passion by Blackbird. Do you guys want to know what these tweets have in common? It's that they were made by Super Sentai fans. People that all know and care about this franchise coming together to have a very productive and competent discussion. The point I'm trying to make here, ladies and gentlemen, is like I said earlier, one man's trash is another man's treasure, meaning you are completely entitled to like what you like, regardless of what others say about it. As long as you like it, it does not matter. And you see, us as a community can collectively agree that our opinions may differ, but this franchise and its heroes are what bring us together, regardless of who those heroes are. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have come to the conclusion that there is no bad season of Super Sentai.